Alright, so the BBC and Netflix working together on a crime miniseries? Oh man, there is no way that can suck. Alright guys, gals, and everything in between, I'm here today to review for you Collateral. And Collateral is a miniseries brought to you by BBC Two to be exact, combining efforts with Netflix to make a show about ultimately a murder and the pregnant detective trying to solve the case and the kind of yarn that or the coil per se that unwinds after this is just you pull on more and more keeps unraveling, and it's just what is gonna happen. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I reviewed each episode as I watched it on Stardust. So I was doing the Stardust reactions on each one. I will plug my channel there if you want to see my breakdown of episode by episode. But this is just going to be me recapping or reviewing the season as a whole. So it stars Carey Mulligan, John Sim, Billy Piper, amazing star-studded cast. And ultimately, it's like these lives that are interconnected. John Sim, he works in the world of politics. Billy Piper is his ex-wife. Carey Mulligan is a pregnant detective. And then there's some other actors that you recognize through the BBC, but I actually don't know what they are. I just know that half of them are in Sherlock and Doctor Who, because the BBC reuses all their actors. This is a 4-part miniseries, and I don't care. That's just the hard part, is that with the first episode, you're kind of intrigued. It's a little slow, but you just don't feel it. It doesn't have life. And that's the biggest problem, is that this show is trying really hard to be Broadchurch, or trying to be something that it's not. It's trying to be Mindhunter or Broadchurch, these wonderful crime shows that have a lot of intrigue. The problem is that this has no intrigue. It looks like it was maybe like an 85-minute film, and they were like, no one's really gonna like this, so how about we try and capitalize on the fact that everyone loves TV shows, we pad it out with storylines that have no point being there, and we'll make it a mini-series. The best way to put it is, this is a detective drama show, and it gets really politically preachy, like pointlessly politically preachy, about halfway through. And even if you agree or disagree with the politics, that doesn't matter. You can put that aside. It's just annoying at how much they stop the actual story and intrigue. Because there's like this whole plot with like potential domestic terrorism and everything. That's all interesting. But then all of a sudden they go, okay, hold on, let's stop that to do a pointless story over here that we're just throwing lines at the screen about our beliefs. Now, that's how you do things improperly. Broadchurch is a better example. Broadchurch is a show that actually tries to talk about the flaws in the legal system in Britain, and how people in the law and the rules that bend with it. And it has a lot of intrigue, and whether you agree or disagree with it, it's there, it serves a purpose, and it has a through line, but it makes sense. It has a point. In the words of Steve Martin from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, here's a suggestion: have a point. That's what this show does. It has no point. There's about 7 story arcs that go nowhere. But then there's one story arc that kind of just unsatisfyingly wraps up, and that's Carey Mulligan's story arc. John Sim, Billy Piper, all of them, their story arcs are really not. They're just filler. And so, in the end, that really bugged me. But I will say, John Sim and Billy Piper have a scene, I think it's in episode 3, spectacular. Like, that was an award-worthy scene because it was the most real domestic couple fight that you could tell. It felt so real. Of like an actual, like, legitimate fight of a couple that you can tell that may not be keeping in it, like they're talking about maybe breaking up. That right there was so real, and it worked. Everything else didn't, and then you realize, oh, holy crap, that has no freaking point. They're just put in there to be there. So I have to say this is something you can skip. Netflix, for at least me, barraged me with ads on that main screen like, oh man, this miniseries is awesome. And I was like, okay, I'll watch it. And yeah, no, it completely underwhelmed me. There is no point in watching it. I'm going to go based on my Stardust star reviews, and I'm going to say that this honestly was, as a whole season or miniseries, was a 2.5 out of 5. It's not really worth checking out that much. If you really are craving British television, you might find some enjoyment in some beautiful cinematography, because the cinematography in this show is spectacular. It's movie worthy, but you're not going to get much more other than that. Alright guys, gals, and everything in between, what did you think of Collateral? Was it actually really good for you, or did you not care? And if you thought that it was too politically preachy like me, tell me whether it was, if you agreed with it or disagreed with it, and like, why, and if it still bothered you even if you agree with it. That's the one I'm most curious about. So, don't forget to like and subscribe. I got plenty more videos coming to you. Love you guys.